Welcome back, everybody. I am going to show you guys Star's insane trick to get the Royal Champion to the core, but with Root Riders today instead of dragons. And I've done a few friendly challenges, well, several, and honestly, it feels better, as crazy as that sounds. So what we're going to do is I use my giant arrow with my queen. By the way, you should definitely have the giant arrow to trigger the invis, and then I'm going to just blimp that section. This is going to create a kind of a nice path for the Root Riders. I'm going to let my king take out like this entire compartment here. I wanted to show you this base specifically because I want you to see that this works even if it's not an isolated core, but I'll show you some isolated core bases too. This one's also very flexible, so you can use this just like how you would the normal Root Rider army. Just take a Siege Barracks with you into Legend League, and you're going to be able to kind of choose and pick whatever it is that you want to do with it. We're going to start some cleanup. I've got some super barbs as well as archers and other things. And I will give you guys a few tips that I've found as I've done this army more and more. One, if you can stick your queen behind either the king or the blimp, that is, she'll usually get more value than this. Obviously, there was a flame spitter or fire spitter pointed right in her direction this time. But normally she'll walk and she'll clear a lot more trash buildings, helping with time a lot because she's at the rate at the beginning instead of towards the end. 2, put cleanup troops way far away from your Royal Champion to draw the CC way away from them. And you can see, because of the damage that I was able to get with my king and my queen and the blimp, the Royal Champion went nuts, right? Absolutely nuts. And she even actually gets this poison tower up here too. You guys will see here at the end. Just insane. And if you watched and paid attention to the very beginning of this attack, you'll notice that the replay had about 30 seconds left at the end. We've got the Eternal Tome on the Warden. I used it here just to save those Valkyries, but I find that the Eternal Tome with the Rage Gem is a much better combination because you don't need the Life Gem because you can take an Apprentice Warden where you can't really with an air army, right? So you almost get like 3 pieces of equipment because it's a pseudo boost with the Apprentice Warden instead of just 2 of the 3 with air armies. So you don't need to take, you could take the Healing Tome if you wanted to, but I find that time's kind of an issue, and I do like to have the Eternal Tome just in case. It is safer for Legend League to have the Eternal Tome. But you can see the base is crushed. We had plenty of time left. The Royal Champion gets a ton of value. We still had some healers and things alive. The Warden ends up dying at the very, very end, but let me show you guys. I did all of my Legend League hits today, unfortunately, before I kind of started trying this thing out. So unfortunately, I don't have any live hits. So they'll all be friendly challenges or replays or things like that. But I will be taking this into Legend League tomorrow, and we're going to try it there. But I'm going to try it on all of my bases. So let's go ahead and get into some of the other ones. All right, so this one is a little bit tougher because it's got the isolated core, but the Town Hall, and then there's a lot of damage outside of the core as well. So it's kind of like a little bit of both. Let me go ahead and push play. One thing I've realized is instead of like using the Angry Jelly on these little compartments and blimping these little compartments, you may as well use them to take out the bigger compartments because this is no problem for the king, right? You're just getting more value if you put him in a place where he can get more value. And then same with the Yetis, right? They take out the Monolith and the Poison Tower here and the Expo, or maybe not the Poison Tower, but it's gone off at least. And then I don't have that many defenses before my Royal Champion gets to the core. 1, saving me invisibility spells because there's not as many defenses on my way to the core. I do have to use 1 here because the Poison Tower didn't go down. And then 2, allowing the Blimp and the King a potential to get more value. So I do like kind of doing it that way instead. So you can see the Royal Champion's going to clear this entire core. I really need to be better about putting cleanup troops and stuff. I had about 12 seconds left when this raid ended. You'll see there towards the end, but the core, I mean, it's crushed. The Warden was still alive. The Queen was full health. I had a few Root Riders left. I think all my healers ended up dying. But let's go ahead and just ×2 through the rest of this. I really like approaching it maybe from like an angle. I like that the King can take out huge compartments with the Rage Vial and Giant Gauntlet. It's pretty insane, to be honest. The splash damage is huge, so the skeletons and the Teslas aren't an issue at all. Enemy heroes, unless it's the Minion Prince, isn't an issue either. The King kind of sucks because he takes forever to go down. And so we used the Eternal Tome around the Town Hall. Honestly, I probably should have waited until the Queen compartment to use the Eternal Tome because I kind of wasted it. So I could have used the Eternal Tome in a much better area. But yeah, I end up swagging an invisibility spell too, so I could have even invis my Royal Champion one more time and maybe gotten some more value or something, but oh, maybe the Warden did go down. No, Warden is still alive. But Queen was full health. We had some healers. Actually, we did have some healers. We had some Root Riders left too. We had about 12 seconds left at this one. So that's another trick that you can use. Get more value with your hero, your king at the beginning, and the blimp, and then let your Royal Champion get more value too because she has less invises to get her into the core. All right, another replay where I'm going to send my king into the bigger compartment. Luckily on this one, there's the Teslas and the skeletons there, so he obviously, that's no problem for him. And then I'm going to blimp the other bigger compartment, and I'm going to always rage the Yetis, I think, unless there's just like only one defense that I need to funnel or something. The raged up Yeti mites just are so much better. By the way, notice the king is still going to tank for the Royal Champion a little bit, so I don't have to put invis spells down right at the start of the raid like you normally would. So we're at 1 invis spell right now, 2. And then we're already on our way to the core. I want you guys to pay attention to this replay specifically because I was kind of paying attention to other things, and I actually let my Royal Champion die while I still had 2 invisibility spells left, which is 9 more seconds, almost 8.5 now after the nerfs, of more value that the Royal Champion could have got here in the core that she didn't get because I was just not paying attention and kind of looking around. So I still get massive value here in the core, right? Right here's where she goes down though. But man, I would have got like probably 3 more buildings. It feels like it's just something crazy. This raid had about 10-15 seconds left. But man, imagine if I had gotten like another scatter shot in the rage tower or something, or something else, right? On this raid too, I kind of butchered this raid. I only put down 2 Valkyries with my Riders for some reason because I put some for the CC troops. I use my Warden ability here. Let's go ahead and ×2 through the rest of this attack. On bases where I think time's going to be an issue, I'm just going to line up my giant arrow to get as many buildings as possible, like right there. Cleared a few buildings, weakened a bunch of the other ones as well. And we'll go ahead and just clear through the rest of this base. This one ends up being maybe not crushed, but we get through the end of it, and well, I guess it is kind of crushed. There's 2 full health heroes alive. Well, Warden's not full health, but healthy heroes. And had 2 swag invis spells that I could have used probably with my Root Riders in the core or something. But anyway, let's keep going on some more friendly challenges. But again, I'm going to take this into Legend League tomorrow and try it on a whole bunch of bases that I've never done before. All right, here's a replay where we actually kind of do, I don't know why my camera's so low, a little bit of like half and half. We're going to put our king over here to clear some of those defenses on the left-hand side with the Angry Jelly. I wall break so that he can get to that multi-inferno. I figured that would be useful. Plus, I have a bunch of Root Riders with my army, so I don't really need wall breakers later on in the raid. And then I'm going to save my Siege Machine and treat the rest of the attack like a more traditional Root Rider attack. This still allows for my Royal Champion to get some massive value with the Rage and the Haste and everything. And if you're not using the Siege Machine to blimp, you can Haste, or Rage your Royal Champion, I mean. And I actually ended up getting the Town Hall here. The pathing was kind of crazy. I was expecting to be more to the core, but we ended up getting the Town Hall, which is really nice. I've drawn the CC clear out of the way because I don't want them anywhere near my Royal Champion. And then I'm going to start the traditional Root Rider part of this attack right over here. And if you notice the time at the beginning of this replay, I had about 30 seconds left. So this one worked out really well. I'm hoping to clear some of those buildings so that I can path my Root Riders right to that monolith is the goal, and keep them inside and then into that Rage Tower. And that is exactly what happened. We'll ×2 it through the rest of this attack. I saved my Eternal Tome for right when we're in the Rage Tower, the Giga Bomb area right there. That ends up working out really well. So, boom. Royal Champion ability, or Warden ability. We have the Siege Barracks and the Queen still very healthy over there. The Yetis actually are kind of a nice addition. They don't clean up as much, but they move ahead because they're melee units and tank for the Queen a little bit later on sometimes. So that can be 1+ if you use it this way as well. It is a very flexible army. You can use it this way. You also could probably just use it like you would a normal Root Rider army and have the king go with them. The Angry Jelly is not going to make him fly way ahead of everybody else because the Root Riders are defensive targeting stuff. So, and even if he does, he's got the giant gauntlet and the rage, so he's going to be very tanky and he's not going to die instantly, right? So even if you do treat it like exactly like the normal traditional Root Rider attack, you just won't have the Royal Champion to recall with the army. But other than that, it would be almost the same exact thing, right? All right. This one was kind of a test just to see if this would work or not. Just going right from the town hall at the beginning. Obviously, it's really good if I can get the town hall right, but the test was more so to see how much the royal champion will get. I didn't know if she'd get all stalled up or if the side stuff would get as much as value as they should, just to really see if this worked. Yetis get that compartment there, so I start my royal champion at like that wizard tower there because I don't want her pathing to the right after the core's gone or whatever, but obviously the king gets a ton of value. He goes down. Let's ×2 it through this attack. Nothing super crazy about this one. There was actually quite a bit of time left. I think there was like 25 seconds left or something like that. It started to die down a little bit towards the end. But obviously, a 3-star is a 3-star, right? You'll take what you can get. This is kind of a weird base where the things path around the middle, too. And I'm trying to like multitask here, put invises down while I'm putting like the root riders down at the same time. Because I'm trying to get better at that, which made me screw up my invis a little bit. And we end up dealing with the CC here. Put the headhunters into the Warden ability. Always very important. Make sure you get your headhunters in there. If the Valkyries die, which they're not nearly as tanky as the root riders, right, you really don't have anything to deal with the ground heroes. And then the air hero, they really don't have anything if your poison lizard dies. So the headhunters are very valuable. Things split up a little bit here, which is why this raid kind of fell apart a little bit. And then my Warden stands in the range of the fire spitter like a genius. And obviously there was no threat to the queen here, so the queen could have just walked the rest of the base really easy. But here's the rest of the raid. Full health queen. We had a few root riders left as well. And let's do one more replay. I'll show one more replay. I'm trying to show different types of bases to show that this attack is flexible and you can kind of make it work on any base. All right, the very last replay that we're going to look at is going to prove to you guys that you can just treat this just like you would the normal root rider attack and have it still absolutely crush the base. So obviously we're going to start off with the Spirit Walk here. There's not really a great, and I even whiffed one invis too. Really whiffed a second almost. Just look how bad I am. This base really, the core is not like, man, I really, look at how poorly I was. Just the haste, man. You go so fast, you start screwing things up. The core is not like super difficult to get to on this base, right? It's not the worst thing in the world, and so it doesn't make sense to invest a whole bunch of stuff. Plus, where would you put your king on this base to get a Builder Hut and an Expo? Or like, there's no way he's clearing a whole compartment like that. And then there's like the second row of defenses inside the middle here. So then I just started just like I would a normal Root Rider Valkyrie attack with my king, who's just got the 𝗪𝗓𝗘𝗓𝗓 on, obviously. And Royal Champion deals with most of the clan castle. I think there's like one ice column left. Yep. And I put my queen over here with the siege barracks, just like you would a normal attack, and start going down. Now, this is where I had a 200 IQ idea that ends up being like negative 200 IQ idea. Like, I'll just have the skeleton spell clean up these trash buildings over here. Literally, they don't get a single building. Swagged it. So here's kind of the process, right? I'm just hoping that I can delay my Giant Gauntlet and Rage Vial until I can get to a spot where there's like a lot of splash damage where it would be like really, really valuable, right? Like the gold storage here, garbage. I don't want to use it now. So I'm going to use my Warden ability earlier than my King ability because I want to use my King ability where it's going to do the most amount of value, which is like up here at this top compartment, like here in just a second. Like the skeleton traps and stuff. This is where the Rage Vial actually goes nuts. And honestly, in this situation right here, probably does more than the Earthquake Boots and the Spiky Ball. Just look at that. Just the swipes and everything. Clears all the skeletons as well. You can see all the splash damage it's getting out of the surrounding buildings over here. And he obviously is tanking. You can tank for the Root Riders if you want to earlier on in the raid if you need to, right? I mean, it's pretty flexible. So I'll end this raid with a whole bunch of healers alive, some Root Riders, 3 healthy heroes. My CC is still alive, right? The Yeti's there. And had about 20 seconds left at the end of this one. That's going to do it for this video. I'm going to take this into Legend League tomorrow. It's very flexible. You can use it fully how you would the normal Root Rider army, halfway in between, or just like Star's Dragon attack, depending on the base that you get. And I'm going to break down each one in Legend League tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that one as well.